Test 1. Test 2. Test 3. Test 4. Test 5. Test 6. Test 7.
Nope, I did not. It's 4 o'clock. I'll call this meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance and an invocation, I guess, led by me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the beautiful weather you've given us, Father, and for the help that we have. Father, we just ask that you guide this planning board. Let us do the right things that we need to do, Father. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
I'm going to call roll call. Chairman Ed Killebrew.
Here.
Katie Owens. Don Ross.
Here.
Edie Wilson.
Here.
As I call your name, please remember to unmute your microphones.
Here.
Earl Wallace. Unmute your microphone.
Here.
Earl Wallace, thank you. Chase Barnes is not here for the record, and also George Deloach is not present,
Thank
but
you.
we do have a quorum.
Thank you. Any person wishing to appeal any decision made by the planning board with respect to any matter considered at such meeting will need a record of the proceeding, and for the such purposes may need to ensure that the verbatim record of the proceeding is made, which record includes the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based. Florida statutes 286.105, persons with disabilities requiring accommodations in order to participate in this meeting can contact the city clerk at 329-0100 at least 24 hours in advance to request any accommodations. I'm going to take a point of privilege right here, and I just would like to address the board. If you have any, if you want to come in and speak, if you would get my attention as the chairman and ask for the floor, I would appreciate it, so we don't have any things scattered around and going about doing the proper things, okay? Did you understand me, Earl? Did you understand?
What'd I do?
Nothing. I'm just making sure you understood me. You heard me.
Well, it's kind of embarrassing for all, you called me out in front of all these people.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to embarrass you. I was just making sure you heard me.
I'm not embarrassed. Go ahead.
Okay.
Bill.
Okay. We need approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Here a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Seeing none opposed, the minutes are accepted as read. Public comments. Does anybody have anything to say towards anything that's here today? Okay. Everybody except Liam. Thank you. Is staff ready to begin with case number 21-04?
Yes, sir. This is a request to annex the property, change of future land use and rezone. It's on the corner of Hudson Avenue and Edgemore Drive. It doesn't have an address right now. It's a 0.70 acre property. Right now it is in the future land use of the county as urban reserve. It would go, if approved, it would go to residential low density in the city. The property is zoned R1A in the county and would be also zoned R1A in the city if it's approved. This parcel is directly connected to the city in two sides. Basically, they're wanting water and sewer. It's a fairly simple thing. It's a residential area. They want to build two houses there. That's one of the reasons why they want to come into the city, because They can build one in the county right now, but because of the density, they would need to have water and sewer to do that. So that's one of the reasons why they want to come into the city. Any questions?
Any questions?
What was the size of the lot?
0.7 acres.
And there's gonna be two houses.
Well, they want to come in for a lot split and we'll look at that, and it likely will be allowed to be able to be two lots, yes.
Any further questions? Is there anybody here from the public that wishes to speak for this?
Ms. McEgan is on phone,
Sir?
Zoom.
Mr. Chairman, the applicant's available on Zoom, Toby McGee.
Mr. McGeehan,
Yep, I'm here.
do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, we're just looking to annex in so that we can access the water and sewer, and our intent is to split it into 2.34 lots, acre lots, and build two houses.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else here or on Zoom that would wish to speak to this? Hearing none, is there anybody that would wish to speak against it? Okay, with that, I'm going to close public comment and open it to the board. Do y'all have any questions or of the staff or anything that?
So these are going to be single-family residents?
Correct.
Okay.
Any further questions? Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve the annexation into the city.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Ms. Rawls made the motion. Ms. Wilson did the second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. On to case 21-045, excuse me.
Excuse me, Mr. Killebrew, do we also need a motion to amend the future land use map and rezone the property?
Do it. Oh, God. Well, I thought that's all we were doing there was what we did.
They have to do three separate.
Okay. Sorry.
What page is that on? I guess go to that first.
Is there a
Staff
motion for
report.
the future land use to amend the future land use?
Make a motion that this recommended by the staff that we request to amend the future land use map from Putnam County Urban to City of Palatka Residential Low Density.
Second?
And there are three parts to it.
We have to do
Okay,
three
do it
different.
separate, okay. I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
One more on the zoning.
Make a motion that by recommendation of the staff, we request to rezone Putnam County Residential to City of Palatka Residential Low Density.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Next case is PB 2105, Annex Amend Future Land Use Map and Rezone at 2615 Hudson Avenue. Applicants are Kenneth and Sharon Walker. The Walkers' septic system failed. They have a sewer line, a city sewer line right by their property. By state law, they have to hook up to this public sewer. So they basically are forced to annex into the city. They also want to get water, seeing they're doing that. It's a residential property that's surrounded by residential properties. It's very simple. They pretty much don't have a choice. They have to get it annexed. Sure. Well,
Yes,
he'll
sir.
tell you when they come up.
If you would come to the mic and identify yourself, give your name and your address, please, sir.
Kenneth Walker. I live at 2615 Hudson Avenue. You're right, our sewer was, my septic was bad. And we was requesting a permit to fix our sewer. But like he said, the state said that we couldn't get a permit. Now, my neighbor just had a whole septic system put in, but they tell us we couldn't. So we go through the process of getting the water and sewer hooked up, which is costing us a lot of money. And then we get a letter from the health department saying that, hey, you can get a permit. Well, it's too late now. No, we got to pay all this money, and we had to pay $2,500 to have it annexed into the city, along with the $6,800 to have the sewer done. I'm disabled. My wife don't work. Now I have another bill that I really didn't want. And they're telling me that, like he said, I have to do it. I have to have the annex into the city. But now the health department telling me I don't. So I feel like I've been bamboozled into getting into the city water and sewer when I really didn't have to. And everybody was telling me I have to do this. But like I say, then we get a letter after it's all done saying that we can get a permit. My neighbor had a whole septic system put in, and they right next door to me.
A neighbor that's touching your property did? And everybody else on Hudson is on this side of the street.
We're
the county.
agriculture.
Who said that you weren't allowed to do it?
The city manager, Don Holmes, came out. I guess it was Don Holmes. Somebody from the city came out, walked through my property and told me that because I have a sewer line that runs from Hudson Avenue all the way across my property to the next street, and I have water across the street, that I cannot get a permit, and I have to annex into the city. That is what we were told. So like I say, we go through the process of getting all this stuff done because they said that we could not get a permit. But it's funny, the day we get it all done, then we get a letter saying, hey, you can get a permit. So I'm kind of like, what do I do?
Well,
It's already done now, but it's not like I went and requested to be annexed into the city. I
the
was
city
told that I
manager is
have to
standing
do
right
it.
behind you. Yes, sir.
I can shed some light on this. I can't
He's
tell
not the
you.
one that come out.
Okay.
It was somebody from the city. I can't tell who it was. No, it wasn't him.
Okay.
It was
All right.
probably Red, but the dialogue between the health department and the city of Palatka has not been good. So when Mr. Walker's property was found, he does have to hook up. I don't know why the health department sent a letter out later saying they don't, because we met with them and they were in agreement with us that he had to hook up to the sewer. But we set up a policy on how to go from now on, because they signed off on the septic system next to them. They didn't check with the city to see if there was a sewer there, and they should have. But on their defense, we hadn't given them our maps either. So we worked all that out anyways, but Mr. Walker did get to where he had
I got a letter from the health department saying they are revising the first statement they made that we couldn't get a permit. They're revising it, and then now they're saying we can't.
Is there an?
But it's too late now, because we done got all this stuff done, and it costing us all this money.
The future land use map, is that what you're referring to?
No,
Or not the-
where our sewer lines are is what I'm talking about. The health department can now look at them.
Is there an ordinance for where the sewer lines are that properties next to and close to have to be annexed into the city when they're,
State law.
when their septic and well fails? They
State law
have to be
requires them
annexed.
to hook up, yep.
Okay. Is there a letter that we can send out to all of these residential units to put them in aware, like basically a warning saying, hey, by the way, you live next to a sewage main, and when your septic fails, you will be required to annex into the city. It's gonna cost you about this much. Because with a disability and only one person working, that's a struggle we just made him struggle.
We
And-
did, I think, I didn't hear the final, but Jonathan Griffiths is working with somebody up in finance to be, so they can able to.
They're putting us on they're giving us 5 years
Yeah.
to pay for the sewer, and they charged us $2,500 to annex into the city.
Mr. Holmes?
Of course, as Mr. Walker indicated, I've not been to his property, but the initial call that he would need to annex and connect to our sewer was made by the health department, who declined to give him a permit. Now, understand something. Mr. Walker's under the impression that if he wasn't connected to city sewer, he could replace a septic tank, and he thinks he'd come out cheaper. I think he's going to find out he's mistaken. But from our perspective, if he doesn't want to come into the city, that's fine, but he's not going to get city sewer if he doesn't come into the city. So if he wants to back out and stay in the county, let me finish, please. Let me finish, please. If he wants to back out, we can disconnect the connection. I don't know if his plumber's already connected him or not. But
Everything
it's
is done.
okay. But we didn't put him down that road. And as far as the notice comes from the health department. When he tries to get a septic tank permit, they're the ones that say, no, you can't do it because of state law. As you know, the state's trying to push basically the abandonment and elimination of all septic tanks. You may have read that Jacksonville just passed a huge bill to actually assist them in getting people off of septic tanks. So the state's mandate is to try to get people off septic tanks and on the central sewer. Wasn't us that was doing the pushing, but the confusion with the health department just it wasn't us that was giving him the bad info. We if he doesn't want to be in the city, it wasn't our desire to force him to come in. But I think he's going to find that a new septic tank right now is an expensive proposition. And then he still have to deal with his well and stuff. So just from that perspective, I didn't know he was already connected from it with his plumber. But in terms of being in the city, and if he, I don't know, if he doesn't want, we tried to work out something with him. I know we were trying to do something to make it easier for him financially. I don't know that anybody who sells him a septic tank is going to do that. But if he's dead set against coming into the city, then we'll try to work something out where we, take him back offline and let him go find a septic tank.
Well, that's not, well, the issue is, like I say, the work is already done. We have the city water and sewer, but I just don't like the way it was done.
Okay.
Well, like I
there's-
say, I'm disabled now. I have a bill that I really didn't want,
Yes,
but
sir.
I just don't like the way it was done.
Okay.
If
Well,
you'd have
there's-
been straight up with me at front and say, hey, you have to do this, that's fine. But then I get I get a letter, and then I see my neighbor get a whole new septic system put in.
Yes, sir.
So,
There's nothing that this board can do about that. We're here to approve you to come into the city, and I don't mean to be hard on you, but I'm just telling you facts. There's nothing.
well, like I say,
We're either here to approve or disapprove.
Okay,
and-
well,
and you can tell
my
us if-
thing is just, if the board can just be upfront with residents in the
Yes, sir. Well, that's
future.
not, that's not
Well,
us.
whoever
That's the city
whoever
of
needs to
Palatka.
come, whoever needs to do that rezoning or whatever they need to do in that area.
Okay.
Because like I say, you kind of put me in a bad spot.
Yes, sir. Well, we
right now.
didn't. We didn't as a board, as a planning board. I'm sorry.
Yep.
The-
That is why we met with the health department, so that they can
Get
send
that
him
clear.
over, so they can send him over to, or whoever over to our utility people, and they can say, yes, we have a line there. It's sometimes we have a line there, but it's a pressure line that they can't hook into.
Mhm.
So that would be that, but
So basically,
got-
who
we-
he
we-
needs to complain to is public service.
right, we've worked it out
Services.
now that the health department is gonna send people that are close to our lines over to our public works people and sewer, water and sewer people, and they'll be able to tell them upfront. I felt bad because I heard that the person next door got a whole system in. That should have been caught, but it wasn't caught. And so that's why we went over to the health department to meet with them and make sure that wasn't gonna happen again.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you for your comments. Is there anybody else wishing to speak to this? Ms. Thomas, do you?
Mr. Walker wants to, as the manager said, wants to not annex in.
No, I mean, it's
not-
listen,
Okay.
all the work I have done, we have got, and all the money we got to pay, there's no use in backtracking now. I was just saying, the way it was done,
Yes, sir.
I feel that it wasn't fair to us.
Yes, sir.
But like I said, the work is done. And it's gonna be more than dig it all up and redo everything. It's just gonna be more of an inconvenience than it is. And then if you just leave it like it is, but like I said, the way it was done, I feel that it wasn't fair. to
Oh.
us.
Yes, sir. Are you through? I'm sorry. I don't mean that in a rude sort of way. I was just going to ask you to step back up to the microphone. Okay. Do you still want to proceed? If you would come to the microphone for me one more time, I'm sorry. I know that's hard for you, but if you would just come to the microphone and tell us you're still willing to proceed.
I'm willing to proceed with the annexing to the city.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So I need to do exactly like we did last time. We've got to,
Correct.
okay. All right.
I motion to approve the request to annex approximately 0.46 acres property into the city to be approved.
Is there a second?
Make a second.
There's a second. I'm in a motion and a second to annex into the city the 0.46 acres property. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion passes. Now we need a motion for this request to amend the future land use map.
I motion to approve the request to amend the future land use map from the Putnam County Urban Reserve to the city of Palatka Residential Medium.
Do I hear a second?
I second that motion.
Caitlin, you second it? Okay. There's a motion and a second that we amend the future land use map. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. We've got a request to resume the Putnam County Urban Reserve to the city of Palatka Residential Two-Family R2. Is there a motion?
I motion to approve the request to rezone from Putnam County Urban Reserve to the city of Palatka Residential Two-Family R2.
Second?
I'll second.
Motion and second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Yes, ma'am. One came in first. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. One came in, then the other one came in. I understand. I'm as mixed up as you are up here, okay? Well, no, I won't go that far. You're, you're not as mixed up as I am. Okay, we'll move on.
Planning Board 2106, conditional use permit at 600 College Road. Most of you know where this property is at. It's a kind of vacant 24,000 square foot metal building on it right now. Applicants are wanting to change that into a climate controlled storage building and then add 2 additional drive up storage buildings, one 6,000 square feet, one 3,000 square feet. It's 5.1 acres. The future land use is commercial and is zone C2. If you look at the conditional uses in the staff report, warehouses, wholesale, and storage yards, but not bulk, are allowable by conditional use permit. So this is pretty straightforward. It's a large piece of property. Most of it's still going to stay grass. They plan on putting the other 2 buildings on the existing parking lot because they won't need as much parking as was needed before. Does the board have any questions?
Any members of the board have a question? The staff?
The applicants are here.
I do have a question.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to get my bearings straight. So where is it? What
This
building is
is on the, if you're going out Grill or 20 on
Yeah.
the right-hand side, there's a great big.
Oh,
Used to be HRS.
yes,
Yeah.
got it. I'm with you.
Any further questions to the board? Would the applicants care to speak? Board have any questions of the applicants?
Okay, so it's just to a climate control storage building, 2 additional drive-up storages. Well, it's something that we need. In the right place. I have a question. Are y'all gonna make it look better than it looks today?
If you would step to the podium, please, sir. Give us your name and address.
Yeah, I mean, as,
Give us your name and address.
my
please,
name's
sir.
Matthew Smoot, and my address. 7838 Brofield Avenue, Windermere, Florida. I mean, as a business owner, I mean, it looks abandoned because it, basically has been. It's been bank owned for over 5 years now. A lot of uses have looked at it and then shied away from doing anything there. But we will make it, we'll make it look a lot nicer. Some of the landscaping around the buildings died. We'll
Right.
freshen that up, do what we need to do to freshen up the building as well. So,
And it's gonna be conditioned storage,
Air conditioned.
air conditioned storage spaces?
yes, for the actual building that's there, it will be, climate controlled storage.
Is this
Is it gonna
kind
be
of like,
open to the public or?
Yes, it will be.
it's kind of like a maze in there, or it used to be. It's kind of crazy. So y'all would just gut it and start over?
It's been gutted.
It has?
Pretty much everything in there was gutted.
Okay, good.
So it's basically like a big barn right now.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to have outside storage also? Is that what I'm saying here?
That's correct.
And what do you, I mean, like for motorhomes, boats such as that?
More self-storage.
Mhm.
You might be able to fit, I mean, the largest unit size will be like a 10 by 20. So
So it's not gonna be outside, it's gonna be in buildings, but there'd be like.
a
like
drive-up
the ones where
storage.
you drive up and open the door.
Okay, all right, that's what I was trying to
Yeah.
understand. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any further questions of the applicant? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I hope he plans on adhering to the landscape ordinance.
You got your finger on the button?
I think I got it punched.
There
Could you
go.
bring
Now
down the
You
microphone,
don't have
Mr.
to,
Wallace?
just punch it once.
Just once.
Yes, sir. Bring the microphone down to you.
I hope he plans on adhering to the landscape ordinance the city has and, you know, make it look nice outside.
Absolutely.
You wrinkled
He will
your
be
eyebrows.
required.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, he's
correct. We
gonna
will.
have to, he's gonna be required to get permitting on the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Mhm.
Well,
Landscape, lights.
everybody
electrical,
doesn't
plumbing.
always do it. Ninth and Reed, that's a good case.
They did it, but they tore it down.
Well, they put in some air plants there that are meant for the shade and some little cutouts, and then they, you know,
We asked for it.
It's fine.
the drunks pull them up at night, so it was all done.
Yes. Sir. Any further questions of the applicant?
Anything's got to be an improvement, so.
Okay. Anybody in the public wish to speak for? Thank you, sir.
Not at this
Anybody
time.
speaking against? Okay. Is there a,
You
Mr.
have
Kel,
to do one approval. You don't have
okay,
to
well,
do
that's
three.
what I was fixing to ask. I mean, I didn't see nothing up there. There we go. You're getting me there now. Okay.
Yep. There were 3 conditions I put on there: obtain permits, adhere to the development requirements of the development committee and screening and buffering. So
Okay. There's your question answered. There's on the board, up on the screen. You're in.
I read that,
Okay.
but that doesn't always happen.
Yes, sir. I understand. Is there a motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use subject to the following: obtain all building necessary permits prior to initiation of the use, adhere to requirements from the Develop Review Committee, and install the required screening and buffering prior to initiation of use.
yes, sir. You're fine. Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Have a second from Edie Wilson. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. I knew Miss Thomas was, her eyeglasses about came off her head. No, you can't. Well, that's better. That's better. Okay, we're moving on to an ordinance to amend section 7417.
yeah, we talked about lot splits in the first case. There's nothing in the land development code that deals with lot splits at all. I've been told that sometimes they've been brought to the planning board to deal with. Planning board, you deal with things that are not necessarily cut and dried, rezonings, annexation, stuff like that. They can be yes or no answers, conditional use permits. A lot split, if they meet the density in the land development code or in the comp plan and they meet all the setback requirements in the land development code, it's a yes. There's no yes or no. It's if they meet the stuff, they can do it. So we're recommending that staff deal with them and get something in the ordinance that actually makes it so that everybody can read it and see what they need to do. And I've drafted this to basically do that. Do you have any questions I can answer? It's pretty straightforward.
Ms. Thomas, do you have anything to say to this?
I think John did a great job with the drafting.
Okay.
And it's been a question that has not been answered in our code, so I think this will satisfy that and make this decision a lot easier.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Any discussion? Yes, sir, Mr. Earl?
Under lot splits there, where it goes down and it says, water license surveyor in accordance with minimal technical standards. We don't have minimum technical standards anymore.
Okay.
State ordinance got rid of them, at state statute. We have standards of practice now.
Okay, so change that to standards of practice.
Mhm.
And then on number 6, to ensure that the lots still meet subsection 2 above and the legal, it's, it's not a legal description until it's filed.
Right.
Strike legal are correct. And then in number 6 there, when,
Mr. Wallace, I do apologize, but I'm being told I can't hear you.
oh, I'm sorry. In number 6, it says, when the survey is found to be correct, I don't think the planning director is qualified to say whether a survey is correct or incorrect.
The only thing that we'll be looking at is to make sure that the legal description that's on the thing is correct.
Yeah, but the wording there is in violation of
Okay.
state statutes. If you've substituted the survey is found to be correct with the planning director finds that the lots still meet subsection 2 above and the descriptions are correct, it's fine.
Okay.
I'm done.
When you're done, Earl, it's a snap.
I thought Ed might tell me I was done.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. I was listening to you. And I'll speak to that in just a minute. Okay. So are you okay with those corrections?
Yes.
Okay, do I hear a motion? We're gonna need to approve this, correct?
I make a motion to approve.
I second that motion.
Oh,
Wait.
wait, one more thing. And
Okay.
I know I'm not supposed to shout out, but I was afraid you'd go. Am I recognized by the chair?
Yes, sir. Mr. Earl, you're recognized by the chair.
Shouldn't we have something in there like the county has for exempt lot splits where you've got somebody, the last job I did as a surveyor, they had split the lot and the new owner built the house and they built their fence, not a great deal, just they built, it was 2 sisters. They built the fence over the line and they built the driveway over the line. So you'd already done your lot split. You get one. You'd already done your lot split. So you weren't allowed another. But with the county, you've got an exempt lot split and you can correct, like that was an error in construction. So I did a long, thin triangular piece. They deeded it to the owner that built over the line and it was put all into one deed and it started with 2 parcels, ended up with 2 parcels. Does that make sense? But don't we need something like that?
I've had a couple of those that come in and they're not creating a lot, so I just allow them to make the change. As long as the lot still meets the density and stuff.
But
Does it need to be written in the ordinance?
yeah, by ordinance,
So
you
the
can't
next
do it
person
if
that
you don't
comes
have it
along-
written in there.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so I guess what I need to do here is, do we need to withdraw the motion and let him go back and rewrite what we've got here? Okay, Ms. Roll,
Draw my emotion. Make
your
my
motion.
My motion.
Edie, did you second that? You were,
No, we didn't get that
oh, we didn't get that
far.
far? Okay.
No.
All right, so we'll withdraw this, send this back.
I shouted out before it got that far.
We'll send this back to the drawing board.
Okay.
And at the next meeting, have it, if you'll have it
Yep.
reworked for us.
Is it possible to make a motion that be added, or you want to read it before it's, and
I'd like, as far as
Okay.
Chairman, I'd like to read it before it's
redo it before. it's
Yeah, thank you.
represented.
God, you need to quit. You and.
I am not. It's her fault. It's the snap that got you all messed up.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, the clerk is trying to tell me something.
That's fine.
So,
Do we need a motion to table, Ms. Thomas?
are we going to vote on this at this time?
No, that's what I was saying. Took her motion back.
Right, I know, but you, Ms. Ball, with her motion, I mean, are we going to vote, on this ordinance at this time based on Mr. Wilson's, recommendations?
Well, that's what we were saying. We were going to send it back and let it be rewritten, and then we would vote on it. Have it reread to us.
Table it.
Okay. Do I have a motion that we table this to a further meeting? That's your motion, Mr. Earl?
I'll make a motion, we table this until the wording is looked at.
Is there a
I
second?
second that motion.
Huh? There's a motion and a second that we table this till the wording's correction brought back to us. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
All those
Aye.
opposed? Motion passes.
The last thing on your agenda is an ordinance that deals with existing signs that are just changing the face. Right now, they need a new permit. We don't think that's reasonable. They're just changing the face. So this basically says they're just changing the face and they're not making electrical. They can just go ahead and do it. They don't need a permit from us. If they're making it electrical, then they have a section in the code that they have to meet. So we need to get a permit for that. But
Are we talking billboards?
no, we're
No,
talking
it's just signs.
like Sonny's Barbecue's got a sign if they
Okay,
change to
a new logo.
another
Yeah.
restaurant, but they just change the face and change the name on it. They don't need to get a permit. Not change any structural elements.
I'm waiting on you, Mr. Wallace. I thought you would have something to say about that. But it's just, I mean, if you're talking about if they're just repainting it, resurfacing it.
Painting it, or if it's like they have a plastic thing there, they can take it out and put another plastic thing in.
Like
When
for
it's-
like,
Well, yeah, same size, everything.
Nothing's changing, they're just
Nothing's
changing the
just
wording.
Whatever's on the sign.
I motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Yes, sir.
Will the chair let me ask a question?
Yes, sir.
I think this should be off the record.
No,
It's
No.
good. It's good.
I'm not being smart enough. We used to have in our ordinance, and I don't know whether it's still there or not, about flashing signs and all being a hazard to
Yes, sir.
traffic. Is that still in there? Because this had something to do with electrical on it, and
Yes, sir. I think it's still there
I
about,
think
the-
it's still there too.
I mean, I know
There's a
that,
difference between those flashing signs that had the little arrows on them and an electric sign that changes copy. Yeah, it's there.
yeah, but by some national code or something, it can flash so many times in so many seconds and all of that stuff, and it was to keep them from putting, making it look like Las Vegas down
Right.
St. John's Avenue. But it's still there.
Yes.
yes, that's what Sonny just
Yeah.
showed John.
Next month is going to be busy. We have several things coming.
Very good.
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 That's good to hear. So is there anything else that's come before this board? Have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
We are adjourned.